The purpose of the next summative essay is to show your effort in finding credible sources from various perspectives to learn about the sentencing of Brock Turner and autonomously, independently decide if Judge Persky gave an appropriate sentence or not. This was the issue at the heart of the Brock Turner case. Since most of you have already expressed you do not agree with his sentencing, it will be of great importance to seek information from the opposing perspective with an open mind. First, you must consider what you want from a sentencing, since that is the heart of the issue. Consider the purpose of prison. There are four main considerations that judges evaluate when sentencing a criminal. In every aspect of the Turner case, consider retribution, rehabilitation, safety, and deterrence. Note the entirety of his sentencing and which of the considerations his prison sentence addressed. Your objective is to find quality sources. Do not use the first article you read. Apply all that was learned in the John Green Crash Course series about being a careful consumer of information online. Read laterally and corroborate information. You are expected to include first-hand accounts, outside perspectives from relevant sources, and unbiased reporting of the facts from the case, including an update as to where the victim and perpetrator are now. We're going to first take a look at tertiary sources. These are good for background information on the issue, like Wikipedia, which gives you a plethora of sources to reference, as well as the actual police reports from the case. These will help you to identify what actually happened the night of the assault. You must understand what happened that night. Seek background information that is complete. As you read about the evening of the assault, ask critical questions, such as, is there any information missing? Does everything add up? Are there other contributing factors? Were other people there? Was the victim taken away, dragged off? Was she alone the entire evening? Was Turner behaving normally, or were people offended by his actions? Does the description of the evening seem atypical from what you know or expect at college parties? Consider all of this as you learn about the events. Learning the facts of the case is best from tertiary sources that are unbiased reports. For example, the entire police report is available online. You just need to look for it. And it gives plenty of details from the night that answers many questions about the events of the evening. Primary sources include the full testimonies from people who were directly involved in the sentencing. You'll be expected to provide the full statements of Brock Turner, the victim, Chanel Miller, and Judge Persky. These full transcripts are available for each one of these people. Once you understand what happened that led to a criminal conviction, it's important to understand the charges that Turner was convicted of and being sentenced for. Read the full statement that the judge gave in court. Judges explain their sentencing in the court system. If you want to decide if you think it was appropriate or not, you must understand the judge's reasoning for the sentencing provided. And it's important to hear it from the judge himself, and not from other sources, which may be only taking parts of his reasoning or his explanation, or may also be misconstruing the information. When you summarize Judge Persky's statement, include all of the reasons he argues the sentencing was appropriate for the crime committed. Things to consider from this primary source: was the judge within the law? Does he have evidence to support his reasoning? And can it be corroborated? Within the judge's sentencing, he will refer to the victim and the perpetrator's sentencing statements. These must be read in their entirety too, as many articles take excerpts that align from their arguments, but omit other important elements of the statements. For example, the victim explains what would give her justice in her courtroom statement, and Turner shares his perspective of his role in the events of the evening. Read both of them in entirety with open minds and considerations. Secondary sources will be arguments that are constructed by people who were not directly involved. It's really important to read secondary perspectives because it helps us to understand what different groups thought about the appropriateness or inappropriateness of Persky's sentencing for Turner. Make sure these perspectives that you seek out are relevant, that they seek some sort of level of authority or expertise. Once you have a clear understanding of the assault, the trial, and sentencing, it's important to learn from these relevant, credible sources what the opposing viewpoints and reasoning are. The judge requested family and friend testimony to better understand Turner himself. Look for those, read them in their entirety, especially Dan Turner's statement, which is often reduced to one fairly sensational phrase. There is more to it. Also learn about Michelle Dauber, victim advocate and Stanford professor. She has law experience and a special relationship to the victim and her family that is worth learning about. Read what other courtroom experts thought about the judge's sentencing, other judges, and other lawyers, and consider what other victims say about the sentencing too. You will find a total of 14 articles. Within those 14 articles, all of the aforementioned perspectives must be included. You will read more than 14 articles. In fact, many articles you will read and find that they were either not a quality source or didn't add anything new to your knowledge of the issue. You are tasked with finding the best information out there. I am not impressed by quantity, but by the quality of the information found. If you find the judge's perspective, but it's incomplete and from a biased source, it is not quality, and it does not demonstrate your thoughtful application of critical reading and critical thinking to evaluate online information. You will explain why your article is quality when you construct the notes of each article, and you'll learn to do that within this module. The better quality an article is, the easier the writing of the note will be for you. This is the time to apply all that you have learned thus far about the rhetorical situation, critical reading and critical thinking, reading and searching for online information, confirmation bias and other barriers to thinking critically, the parts of an argument, and types of errors in reasoning. Show that you can research an issue effectively online to make autonomous decisions.